Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It's a special day.
Are you going to cry today?
I am. So I'll just get that out right now. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, we introduced to you a new member of our team here at KFUO. Came to us for a very special season. It's been a little over a year now.
You haven't been here for like 5 years?
No.
Why does it feel
A
that
year,
way?
a year and 3 months, I think.
Man.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you've always been here.
It was right around the time that we returned to the office.
Yeah.
Came back to the office, and then we had this new person in the office with
Who
us.
is that guy?
Pastor James Cleland.
Hello.
Production specialist here at KFUO Radio, and now Associate Pastor Elect.
Elect. Yeah, I haven't been installed yet.
St. Mark Lutheran Church and School in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
You're leaving us.
I'm leaving y'all. Sorry.
Yes. The Lord has seen
I
fit
don't want to leave. I really don't.
We don't want you to leave either. But the Lord has good plans. I'm certain of that.
Yes.
And bringing you to the saints of St. Mark Lutheran Church and School in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
And being a Texas boy, and
We're going home.
Your wife being a Texan as well, returning to your native land.
Yes.
That's appropriate.
But
Yep.
before we even talk about going to St. Mark, let's talk about how you ended up here in St. Louis. What was your path to St. Louis and Concordia Seminary in St. Louis? Then we'll talk about coming
Well,
to
I was
KFUO.
a Lutheran school teacher in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and was attending Soul Thirst Lutheran Church. And they quickly identified me as someone they could have help with youth and family ministry because I had a summer camp background. I used to run summer camps. So I found
explains a lot.
Yes.
It explains so much.
So I found myself doing a ton of youth ministry again and teaching at a Lutheran school. And we quickly realized, James, you're doing specific ministry here. You need to get trained for that. So I started doing the specific ministry pastor program through Concordia Seminary and became a vicar at Soul Thirst Lutheran Church for 2 years and then ordained and was a pastor there for 2 years, completed the specific ministry program and realized I'm being called to ministry as my full-time vocation. I was bivocational for so long. And the best way to do that was to continue my education in person at Concordia Seminary doing the MDiv program. Moved up here, started that, tried to live off our savings, and that was wild. And my wife was like, "You should look for a part-time job." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And she found one for me. She went on. she found it. She found the listing. She's like, "You'd be perfect for this. It's radio stuff. You do podcasting. That'd be great. You're a Lutheran. It's Lutheran radio. It pays money. We need that." So I applied, and you guys hired me as the part-time production assistant, and I fell in love with the work. It was awesome, and I think I begged y'all, can I work more?
That doesn't happen that often.
And we attempted doing full-time with me here as a production specialist while I went full-time at Concordia Seminary, which was fun.
Sounds like a great plan, right?
Oh, my.
I'm amazed you're like still breathing and upright.
I turned in my last assignment last week, and it was just the weirdest feeling. I walked around for 3 days feeling like I, was missing my wallet or something. I didn't know what was going on. And it was that whole component. I didn't have any homework to do. I was like, oh, wow, I can breathe. So I came into work and had plenty of stuff to catch up on. So
There is always plenty to do here if you're ever bored.
right. There's always something. Radio is kind of a moving goal line, a moving end point. It never ends.
Nope.
Hourly
You're
deadlines
never
every
done.
day.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
There's always something to do. Otherwise, we don't have radio.
Yep.
So how did you juggle all of that? 'Cause, you have kids too and a wife.
Oh, I do have kids and a wife.
And a dog.
I should check in on them. I haven't seen them in a year.
A wife, kids, dog.
Yeah.
Full-time student, full-time employee.
I'll say first and foremost, it wasn't me. If anything good happened out of this, it was totally Holy Spirit at work, and the Holy Spirit working through my wife to help me with this. I could not have done any of it without my lovely wife, Ryan. I'll also say this, Trello, if you've never used Trello before, it's a project management software. I have used it to totally micromanage myself through all of this. And the other shout out I'll give is that the specific ministry program through Concordia Seminary that I took before coming out to the Master's in Divinity program was very difficult, and really, really prepped me not only for ministry in general and specifically, but also when I came into the MDiv program, it had laid such a strong foundation that the courses that I took through the MDiv program, a lot of it was like, oh, I know that from SMP, or oh, I've had experience doing this particular thing we're talking about because I was a vicar for 2 years and a pastor for 2 years. So I'll give a shout out to the specific ministry program and everyone working in and through that, because doing the MDiv program was difficult. But it was not as difficult as I thought because I had already read half the books, which was really helpful. Or I'd go back and look at my notes from that program because we had stellar professors in SMP who really prepped me for it. So, and then the other thing I'll say is I had great training here at KFUO. Andy's an amazing boss, amazing teammates here that when I had stuff going on, whether it was my time in the hospital with some heart issues that turned out okay, don't worry everyone. Everyone picks up everyone else's slack around here, but in a very supportive and wonderful way. So I couldn't have done it without you guys. So.
Well, we would have been very lost without you as well.
Goes both ways.
Yeah. You did the same for me as well when I was out. You're like, or planning to be out. You're like, what can I do? What can I do? So always making sure that everything was getting done in a timely manner here, and done very professionally. We certainly appreciate that.
Well, thanks.
There was one day. You remember this? I printed out all of my instructions for how I post all of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I had to leave unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And I wrote my instructions, just gave it to you and said,
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
It worked out. I figured it out.
You did it. It was great.
You fixed all my mistakes when you got back.
There were only a few. Everything was posted, though. It was wonderful.
Was it color-coded? Usually the notes you give me are color-coded.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was helpful.
Color codes your notes. All right, so you've been in St. Louis for a little while. You moved to St. Louis, and then we had a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You came here to take classes in person and
ended up back online taking classes.
But you've been here in St. Louis for a little. How many years have you been here in St. Louis?
2 years now.
2 years. So you had a little bit of time to experience St. Louis and some of our landmarks and culture and things. Landmarks that you experienced that you would recommend to future visitors?
Well, absolutely anything in Forest Park. So that would include Forest Park itself. And during the pandemic, that was our oasis because it was outdoors and you could avoid people. It's one of the greatest city parks, I think, in the world. The zoo that's in Forest Park, totally free, which is awesome. We would be walking through Forest Park and realize, hey, y'all want to go to the zoo, kids? And be like, okay. So we'd hop in the zoo. And the art museum in Forest Park is amazing. It's just so cool, the different works that they have in there. And it's just a well-curated museum. So you haven't been there, go there. And then I will say this, if you haven't been to City Museum, check out City Museum. There is nowhere else in the world like it. I'm a bit of a control freak and a little bit agoraphobic. And the first time I went there, I had a full-on panic attack in the first 5 minutes. Once I got through that, it was the most amazing experience. So it's like if Salvador Dali designed a museum / playground that takes up 4 or 5 stories of a warehouse.
Did you go down the slide?
Oh, I went down every slide.
I don't know if I could do that.
It was... It tested all my boundaries, but it was fun. So we ended up getting a annual pass for that. Went back multiple times. So
nice.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun.
It is.
It's also very easy to get lost.
It's
in that
so
building.
easy, but they won't even give you a map. It's so cool. We got there, and I started having my panic attack when I saw a mom write her phone number on her child's arm in case he got separated. I'm like, oh no, what am I getting into?
I'm having panic right now just thinking about it. Thank you.
My wife write her phone number on my arm.
Right.
Oh, dear. Let's talk about, food.
Yeah.
You have some favorites.
I do.
Were you able to find your favorites here?
I found, Tex-Mex was hard to find here, but if you haven't been to Uncle Julio's in Frontenac, that's an actual restaurant from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you want real Tex-Mex, go there. They have handmade tortillas, which is a must in Texas. Besides that, we found some other good Tex-Mex. Nacho Mamas on Manchester, pretty good. My other favorite food is Indian food, and there's some stuff on Del Mar that's pretty good for Indian food. But I'll say the St. Louis local stuff is pretty amazing. I mean, if you like Provel, if you want to call that cheese, St. Louis pizza is good, but there's some other like hidden things. St. Louis does really good Chinese food. Just amazing Chinese food, and it has a unique thing called the St. Paul sandwich. It's egg foo young on white bread with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. It sounds weird, but it's good. And I'd say St. Louis might have some of the best burgers in the nation.
Yeah.
Especially High Point, if you haven't been there. Seriously good hamburger. I had way too many of them, which might have led to my coronary incident. But yeah, so I haven't had one in 3 months, but I really would love to.
Did you ever have gooey butter cake?
I love gooey butter cake. Clementine's ice cream. Gooey butter cake ice cream.
Oh man!
So we live next to the seminary in a house or in a townhome or whatever you want to call it that is next door to Clementine's.
Oh boy!
And that was very dangerous because we would get it at least once a week. But man, Clementine's is amazing.
But you have to wait in line forever to get it.
You do. They have a very long line sometimes. They've been really nice to the seminary community too. They donated ice cream the other day for a going away party for Pastor Marriott, which I thought was just so sweet of them. So shout out to Clementine's. And I'll take more free ice cream, please.
Yeah. They probably knew when he was coming and what he was ordering.
Exactly.
He loves ice cream.
He does. So, and he too heading to Texas.
He is.
Well.
Everyone's going to Texas.
Going to Texas.
Come on. So everyone join me.
Maybe we should go to Texas.
Tell us about the congregation that you'll be serving in Houston.
Yeah, so St. Mark is in Houston. It's worships about, I think, 300 or so on a Sunday. Pastor Matt Popovitz is the pastor. Matt Popovitz is the pastor. Really, really great guy who I knew through some other circles. And we connected in this whole call process. I'm excited to learn from him. He's a great public speaker. The school there is amazing. They just finished building a new school building, so I'm excited about my kids attending there. And my wife will actually be taking a job there too as a special education teacher, which is her forte. Just a wonderful community. Lots of Texas Aggies there, which I like too. Shout out to my fellow Aggies. Just a beautiful, beautiful congregation who is really, really focused on proclaiming the gospel to the context they're in through new and creative ways. And that's what I'm all about. So I'm excited.
And you get to work alongside a DCE again.
I do.
Oh,
yeah,
well.
Cassie.
Of course.
Yeah.
Cassie's great.
Cassie is a great DCE.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Oh, and my buddy from the Sem is coming as a vicar. My next door neighbor called there as a vicar too.
No way.
Yeah. So, and he's our dog sitter, so that's going to work out great.
Oh, it's perfect. Built-in dog sitter.
Yep.
Well, we are looking forward to. We're sad to see you leave here. We do have another opportunity. We get to meet up with you at the youth gathering in Houston in July.
Yes.
So we get to team up with you, and I know that we'll. I'm sure we'll be doing some projects together in the future. While we might not hear you on the air every day like we have, we'll get to hear you through June, and then catch up with you at the youth gathering in July. But we're so grateful for the time that we've gotten to have with you here at KFUO. Sad to see you leave.
I'm sad to leave.
Certainly we'll be lifting you up in prayer, especially including the saints at St. Mark's in Houston as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
You've been listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support The Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.